All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, the 2021 National Football League season is upon us, and there is nothing but controversy that is swirling around the Chicago Bears. And when you think about swirling in Chicago, of course, you think about the wind, but this is a little bit different. Now, we've seen the Bears quarterback controversy so far. Andy Dalton, the veteran, began the season and then he suffered an injury in week number 2 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Justin Fields, the rookie first round pick out of Ohio State, got his first start of his NFL career. And of course, it was less than stellar. And of course, a lot of people are pointing fingers at head coach Matt Nagy over that. And because of that, we don't know who's going to be the Bears starting quarterback this week when they host the Detroit Lions. Is it going to be Dalton? Is it going to be Fields? Or is it going to be Nick Foles? We'll have to wait and see. And with that said, the Bears have stumbled out of the gate right now. They're only 1-2. And unfortunately, that's not the only thing that the Bears have to deal with right now because there is the possibility, and it's very real, of the Bears leaving Chicago for the suburb of Arlington Heights. Now, you look at Soldier Field, which is the Bears' home stadium for nearly 50 years, and it has the smallest seating capacity in the NFL, only 61,500. And I'm saying only as compared to other venues. But we saw Soldier Field go under some extensive renovations about 20 years ago. And during that time, the Bears played their home games at the University of Illinois in Champaign. But the problem is this: you look at it, and recently we have seen some new stadiums come on the market, so to speak, or venue, or like just basically on display rather around the NFL, and they have just blown it out of the water. You think about AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, which opened in 2009, and that became the gold standard. And most recently, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, which is the home to both the Los Angeles Rams and Los Angeles Chargers. And then also Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And on top of that, the senior voices in the room, as far as the team owners go in the NFL, have changed. And now there is more of a push for teams to get into these new venues, have, the luxury boxes, all of the bells and whistles, uh, that go along with it. And the thing is, it's like when you look at these team owners, the bottom line, they're going to get what they want one way or the other, because if one city is not going to give them what they want, they're going to find somebody else. Why do you think that the Rams left St. Louis for Los Angeles a couple of years ago? And of course, there was more to it. The same thing can be said about the Chargers leaving San Diego after so many years. And of course, the Cleveland Browns once upon a time becoming the Baltimore Ravens, and the Baltimore Colts, of course, once upon a time becoming the Indianapolis Colts. But nonetheless, you look at it, the Bears have purchased a ton of acres out there in Arlington Heights. And you know what? The bottom line is you could see that the wheels are in motion on this. The city of Chicago is prepared to fight the Bears over this, even threatening to not allow them to still call themselves the Chicago Bears. But we'll have to wait and see how all of this is going to play out. There's talks about the Bears possibly wanting a dome for their new stadium, or their new proposed stadium in Arlington Heights. I'll tell you like this: you better tread lightly, and the reason why I say it is be careful what you ask for, because winters in Chicago can be notoriously bad, and that is a home field advantage for you as the home team. You just have to learn how to work through it. And I say that because you look at the Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings. Once upon a time, they played their home games outdoors. The Lions, once upon a time, at Tiger Stadium in Detroit, before they went to the Pontiac Silverdome in 1975, and now Ford Field. The Lions have not enjoyed the home field advantage like they once did. You look at the Minnesota Vikings, another team that shares the NFC North with the Chicago Bears. And it's a situation where once upon a time, the Vikings played at Metropolitan Stadium and they enjoyed a tremendous home field advantage before they went to the Metrodome in 1982. And then during the construction of US Bank Stadium for 3 years, the Vikings played on the campus of the University of Minnesota, an outdoor facility. And the Vikings once again enjoyed a solid home field advantage. Why? Because nobody wants to go up to Minneapolis in late November and December and January and play. And then when the Buffalo Bills were doing their international series, they didn't have the success that they wanted when they went to Toronto at the Rogers Center. Why? Because they're playing indoors. And if you play those games late in the season, again, Western New York is not a place that opposing teams want to come play at. And if you look at the Bears, when the Bears are good, nobody wants to go to Chicago and play. They usually have a hard hitting defense like they do right now. And the thing is, they have a physical ground game. So it's one of those where, again, you really want to be careful what you ask for. But the thing is, it's like if the Bears were to leave and go to Arlington Heights, I know that people, within the city, as far as officials go for Chicago, don't want them to still be the Chicago Bears. But I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, the Lions played in Pontiac, Michigan, and they were still the Detroit Lions for so many years. The Cowboys have not played within this Dallas city limits for a very long time. When they played at Texas Stadium was actually in Irving, Texas, and now AT&T Stadium is in Arlington. You look at Washington football team. They don't even play in DC. They play in Maryland. Both the Rams and Chargers, they have Los Angeles in front of their names, but they play in Inglewood. The Jets and Giants don't even play in New York State. They play in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The Bills play in Orchard Park. The 49ers play in Santa Clara, but they're San Francisco. So the thing is, teams do play outside of the city that they represent. And I know it's about a 40-minute distance between Arlington and Chicago, but we'll see what happens. But the bottom line is this: these owners are always going to get what they want, and unless Chicago is going to pony up the bread and give the McCaskey family what they want, this team is going to go because they know that they have somebody else that is willing to play ball, and on top of that, they have the backing of the NFL, and they also have the backing of the other owners. So whenever you get those guys, those billionaires in that room on the same page for a mission, look out. So the thing is, I think, Soldier Field, I've never been there personally, but just watching it on TV, it looks like it's a good venue from a fan experience to watch a game. Basically, and when I say a fan experience, I mean a hardcore, blue collar type fan. But of course, this is not what these owners are catering for. They're catering for those luxury boxes. They're catering for all of those bells and whistles. And it's just, pushing the working man out of things. So when these owners, get their thinking caps on as far as what they're going to do to produce more revenue and keep the cash cow going, the little man is always going to get squeezed. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens between the city of and Chicago and the Bears, the city of Arlington Heights and the Bears. And the bottom line is this situation is not going to get pretty. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.